So in this next part of this lecture, we'll be talking about professional bodies in society. What are different professional bodies that we need to be aware of? Okay. So I think आप सबको थोड़ा थोड़ा idea होना चाहिए. These were the slides I had posted a long back, but it is also okay if you've not gone through them. We'll be discussing them throughout this. So these first few lectures, 2 3 lectures, they will be like very much theoretical in like explanation. It is very difficult to relate with them until and unless you actually find yourselves in situations where those things come into play. But eventually, as we move on to the second unit and onwards, these things will start making more sense. So, starting with this second lecture, we are talking about professional bodies and professional societies. So, anybody, any guess what are professional bodies? Any
The
guesses?
company organizations.
Organizations.
सर
What kind of organizations?
सर जो वेलफेयर के लिए काम करते हैं
Welfare के लिए काम करते हैं. That is like correct to some extent. So this is the definition. We can read that. So by definition, it says the group of professionals working towards the progress of a specific professional domain and its stakeholder, generally as a non-profit organization. So it is a group of professionals. Again, this is not something that has been made by the god or some aliens. This is again the people here, the people who are working as professionals in different organizations. They together come together, they form a group, and they work towards the progress of a specific professional domain, a domain, whatever their domain is. Let's say a lot of software engineers come together and they start working for the software engineering domain. A lot of mechanical engineers come together and they start working towards the automobile industry or automobile domain. So whatever their domain is, they start contributing towards the progress of the domain and its stakeholders. So all people who are related to that domain. So what that means? That means the engineers who will be working in that domain, all the professionals, not just engineers, all the professionals related to that domain, and the industry at large, the industry associated with that domain, and let's say the educational institutes or the educational ventures that are related to that domain, how to educate more and more people, or maybe to develop standards and all those things. Okay, we'll discuss them in detail. So all the stakeholders जो भी associated है उस particular domain के साथ में उनकी progress के बारे में भी सोचना, and all this that they do as a non-profit organization. They are not trying to gain profit from you while doing all this. Okay, so that is generally what is expected from a professional body. Okay, so the such bodies look after the interest of practitioners, keep an oversight of the activities, establish cooperation and coordination between organizations, individuals and policy makers. ठीक है, तो ये इनका रोल है. Then professional bodies have significant contribution in development of industry standards, supporting academic and research activities, and encouraging young practitioners, and also at the same time maintenance of literature and many other things. So anything, any work that can improve upon the domain or the people associated to it, all those activities are done by these professional bodies. Okay, so that makes it very important to know what the professional bodies are with respect to the domain that we are going to pursue. Okay, this is the domain that we are right now trying to understand about, trying to learn about, and eventually will become the professionals in that domain itself. So, because of that, it is very important that you should be aware of what are the different professional bodies and societies active in that particular domain. Okay. So another point is why there are so many professional bodies and societies. What are they doing? Why should we study them? So these are the different reasons to know about them. The first is recognition. What these bodies do, they have certain eligibility criteria, and based on that eligibility criteria, they recognize you as a, let's say for civil engineers, there are different bodies that recognize them as individual engineers, practitioners, or let's say evaluators. There are many different bodies for that, and only once you have been recognized by such an body or recognized by such an association, then only you are allowed to, let's say, take up some projects, some government projects, for even for some government projects, there are limitations like these. So until unless you are recognized by such bodies, you cannot participate in any government project. So this is how they give recognition. They recognize that okay, this professional is capable enough to be like working as an mechanical engineer or a computer engineer and so on. So many of these bodies also work as the recognition bodies. Okay, and they have their membership processes, and based on that, you can join that particular society or that particular body. And apart from that, they also recognize the efforts of the professionals through organization of events and awards. Okay, they confer awards based on their professional achievements as well as any contribution they have done to the domain. Okay. Second is professional development. They try to ensure to organize lectures, courses, workshops, and conferences related to the latest advancements in the industry. They also provide discounts and exclusive access to all these events. So maybe let's say some particular industry is organizing a workshop on machine learning, and if you are a member of a certain society, member of a certain professional body, you will be given exclusive access to that workshop, or maybe you will be given some discounts on the fee required for that workshop. And apart from that, these professional bodies also contribute to the domain financially. Although they are contributing in terms of the knowledge, in terms of skill development, they also contribute financially. Then they enhance the competence of the professionals. They appoint reviewers and editors. So from these bodies, reviewers and editors are identified for publication of, let's say, research journals or research commentaries, books, and so on. So if you are a member of such a body, there are higher chances that you may be selected as reviewers and editors for such publication. Okay. Next is professional networking. So by being a part of these bodies, you can ensure that you are connected with like-minded people. Okay, and you can get associated with their local branches. So most of these bodies have different local branches, and you can participate in focused networking events. Some events that are primarily focused only towards the networking of people. So when different people from the same domain come together, there is always a very good chance that they will do something that will be beneficial for the domain as well as the society at large. So that is why they like hold such networking events. Also, you can go ahead and join those networking events and get to know many big people from the same domain. Okay, and also they publish magazines and news items. Okay, so to like spread awareness on different aspects of the domain they are working for. Next is they have leadership development, organization of events, and the structure of these societies are such. For example, you can host events on the behalf of that particular society or body. You can join those bodies as executive positions. You can work as executive member of those societies, and you will execute all the functionalities that are like designed to be taken up by that particular society. You will help in policy making also. You can give submissions to the government, give submissions to individual industry members, individual institutes, so that you can make an impact on different policies that are being inactivated. And that way you can always showcase your leadership skills, also showcase as well as develop your leadership skill. Next is these societies and bodies try to gather together trends and opportunities. So, based on what is going on in the world right now, they can establish standard practices. They can work on to offer internships, jobs, and career. And they also like to highlight the latest developments that have been done within the industry, or maybe like to initiate some standard developments. For example, you all know about the IETF, Internet Engineering Task Force. They came up with the idea of HTML and CSS and all those things, and that is how these bodies can also like ask people to work on things that will take the domain forward. Okay, and apart from that, they also publish a lot of journals, and they also organize conferences. or maybe if they do not organize on themselves, they support these conferences and journals financially as well as administratively and professionally. So that is how they cater to the different trends and opportunities that are there in your domain. Next is funds and support. They provide a lot of financial support for research and projects. They also support infrastructure, legal, and policy making activities, and they also offer organizational and individual support. For example, the Computer Society of India, it has scholarship programs for the good scoring students. They offer awards to all the engineering students who have done good quality projects. They also recognize and promote the open source activities within India and so on. So that is how they offer different organization and individual support. Next is standard and ethics. So they also try to ensure that all of the professionals related to their domain are sticking to the standard practices and following a standard ethical code of conduct. So that is what they do. They do publish the standards, and they publish moral code of conduct. They publish evaluation procedures. They have certification programs. So if you qualify a certain criteria, you are certified by that body. And similarly, they encourage for professional ethics and acts and laws. Okay, so they can influence these things also. They can have their role in making of acts and laws related to their domain. For example, let's say if government wants to increase the GST on the software services, the such bodies can also appeal to the government that it is not in the favor of the domain, or it is not in the favor of industry, or maybe they can also go ahead and ask the government to increase the GST, since that is in the favor of the country as well. So it works both ways also. So that is how that is why we should be aware of and be participate in such professional bodies in society. So these are some technical bodies. So these bodies are related to the technical domain in general. When we are particularly when we are talking about computer engineering, we are talking about the bodies related to computer and software industry. Okay. First one is IEEE. You all have heard the name of it at least somewhere. The full form is Institution of Electrical and Electronics Engineer. It has a lot of societies. The first one is Computer Society, is very old. Next is Industry Application Society, Computational Intelligence Society, Robotics and Automation Society, Communication Society, and there are many similar societies that are currently being managed by IEEE. Okay, so you can get associated with any of these society. You can participate in the activities of that society and so on. Like for example, the Computer Society has like contributed a lot in the publication, finalization, establishment of the software engineering body of knowledge. It is known as SWEBOK, 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 SWEBOK. That is like a standard document, a body of knowledge developed by the Computer Society, and it includes the things that should be known by any software engineer. Any software engineer, what should they should know, that is like acts as a guideline for all the universities who are teaching or who are like giving graduate degrees in computer science. Okay, so that is one of the major contributions of the Computer Society. Apart from that, there are several standards and standard publications being done by all these societies. Next is IET, Institution of Engineering and Technology. It is a Europe-based organization. Next is ACM, that is Association for Computing Machinery. ACM also publishes a lot of journals, organizes a lot of conferences, and also hosts a lot of competitions for students also. So many of you have heard the name of ACM ICPC. So that is backed by ACM again. So ACM does a lot of work when it comes to the development of computer science in general. Next is AI, that is Association for the Advancement of Artificial Intelligence. It takes up the problems and challenges related to the development of AI domain specifically. The next is Computing Research Association, that also works towards the funding and making things easy and suitable for the people who are doing research in computing. Next is Association for Women in Computing. They look forward to the objective of improving women contribution in computing in general, and like developing a suitable environment for the women to work in the computing domain. Next is IACSIT, that is International Association of Computer Science and IT. Next is Institution of Engineers India. You all may have heard its name. Our college organizes a lot of events in association with IEI India. Next is Indian Society for Technical Education, and finally the Institution of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineers. So these are all different bodies. Luckily or unluckily, I'm not to comment on that, but we do not have any computing specific, a lot of computing specific technical bodies from India apart from the Computer Society of India. So now, what is the next? The next is governmental bodies. So what are the different governmental bodies related to the software industry in general? The first one is AICT, that takes care of the technical education in India, and the full form is All India Council of Technical Education. It makes the norm, regulations, rules, and laws that all technical institutes in the country should follow. Next is Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. It majorly influences the implementation of laws and schemes that are to be followed and to be used by the software industry or in general electronics industry in India. Next is Department of Science and Technology. This department specifically looks onto the development of science and technology within India. Next is certain. It is Indian Computer Emergency Response Team. You would have heard this name a lot of times in newspapers, where certain announces a lot of security bugs in many softwares, in many, let's say, electronic devices. So it works as uh, the agency that is responsible for ensuring computer related security in the country. Okay. Next is STQC, that is Software Testing and Quality Certification. So this is a governmental body that ensures quality certification of the software products and software services offered by the companies in our country. So it is not mandatory in general that all companies or all products should be like verified or certified by STQC, but it is optional, and a lot of government organizations, when buying or purchasing or contracting for any software services, they ensure that the services are certified by STQC. Apart from that, within Rajasthan, we have this Department of IT and Communications, and these days, these such departments are existent in all of the states in India right now. So these are the departments that works towards providing IT services related to e-governance and maintenance of IT infrastructure for state governments. Okay. Next is National Informatics Center. It acts as the central development related body of the Government of India. So all the websites of Government of India that you see, and all the IT infrastructure, whether it be, let's say, the website of the Government of India, or maybe the website of any of the ministries, or maybe the Aadhaar portal, UIDI portal. Most of these portals, most of these services are developed and maintained by the National Informatics Center only. And in fact, for a lot of state government organizations also, the services are being offered by the NIC only. So NIC plays a very important role in implementation of e-governance, and NIC has done a very good job in actually developing the e-governance to the state where we see it today. Okay. And you would be happy to know that a lot of alumni from our department itself are at very key positions within NIC also, at, let's say, director and ministry levels. People are working in within NIC, and they are from our college, from our department. Next is industrial bodies. So these are the bodies that are formed as wherein the members are the industries and not the individuals. Okay. So that is what we call as an industrial body. So the first one is Confederation of Indian Industries. So this particular body looks after the needs of all the industries within India. It is not specific to software industry. Next is NASCOM. It is National Association of Software and Service Companies. This is very much related to software, and you will be going to hear a lot of this name NASCOM within next 3 years of your study while studying computer science. NASCOM is responsible for development of the domain of software within India, and also it has a very important role to play in policy making, or let's say the development of technical education related to software within India. Okay. Next is IETF, that is Internet Engineering Task Force. It looks after the development of protocols and standards related to internet in general, and it is a global organization. It is not in Indian organization. Similarly, the next one is World Wide Web Consortium. It looks after the development of World Wide Web. So it is also one of the co-founders of HTML standard in general, and it also looks after the further development of these standards. Next is ISO, that is International Organization for Standardization, and ISO develops a lot of standards, not only specific to software industry, but a lot of standards, many of them. You will see ISO standards everywhere, okay? And many of the countries accept these standards as their native standards also. Next is IEC, International Electrotechnical Commission. So that also works on development of software industry and electrical industry in general. And finally, there are many organization specific bodies such as Google Developers, Microsoft Developers Network, Cisco DevNet, and so on. These are different bodies that are backed by individual companies, but they encourage participation of professionals from different organizations also. For example, you can also join the Microsoft Developers Network, but as a student member, not as a Microsoft developer member. Okay, so that is how these bodies work. They encourage different contribution from different people, different professionals from different background as well as organization. Okay, and the next one is there are also some student bodies that are focusing towards the development of students who will be coming to join the technical industry. So the first one is IEEE student chapter. IEEE allows to open a lot of student chapters in the country. Unfortunately, we do not have one right now at our college. But if any one of you are interested, you can get in touch with me. I will give you the details of how to approach for this. We can also start a student IEEE student chapter at our department. And similarly, there is ACM student chapter. ACM is very reserved on allotting these student chapters, but ACM generously provides a lot of funds and support to such student chapters wherever they approve it. Okay. The next is CSI student branch. The convention is different, but it is more or less the functioning is the same to promote the professionalism in computer science students. And the full form of CSI here is Computer Society of India, and it is an Indian organization. And then after that, it is IEI student chapter, that is Institution of Engineers India student chapter. So we used to have this IEI student chapter at our college long back, but later, when IEI established its Jodhpur branch, the chapter was dissolved as most of the activities are done by the Jodhpur branch itself only, and our students go there and participate in the activities organized by IEI. Right now, because of the pandemic, many of these activities are not ongoing, not being conducted. But eventually, when the things will be back, you will get to see that there are a lot of events being organized by IAI Jodhpur branch, and a lot of students participate in that also. So, talking about these professional bodies in society, there is a lot of things to know about them. So, these are like some basic things that you should be aware of about these professional bodies. The first is history. When was that body established? Who established that body? What is the purpose of that? Second is objectives and activities. Third is major contributions, what they have provided to the domain at large and its stakeholders. Next is what is the membership process. If there is any fee to become a member, what are the eligibility criteria, whether I will be accepted as a member or not, and so on. What are the membership benefits? Once you join the body as a member, what are the benefits of joining that? Next is renowned members, who are the very renowned, famous members or respected members from that particular body. And finally, last one is what are the nearest chapters or branches so that you can possibly go ahead and join them. Okay, so these are the things to know. And this is on what our first assignment is based on. Our first assignment is mainly about pick any one professional society, body, or chapter of your choice. Okay, and you can choose from the list given in this presentation or search on your own. That is up to you. You have to pick anyone. You can pick anyone on random, or as well you can research on them, get to know a little bit about them, and choose one to do a detailed study on them, and then thereafter go ahead and find out the details mentioned in things to know about the chosen body, and prepare that as a PowerPoint presentation using Google Slides and share its link on Microsoft Teams assignment. Is it okay? So these are the things that you have to cover for anything that you choose to. For example, if you choose Computer Society of India, you should know about the history of it, what are its objectives, what are the activities the Computer Science Society of India does, what are the major contributions, and so on. So these are all the different slides that should be going into your assignment when you submit it. Okay. So any questions on this? I believe it was like very monologue kind of a lecture today. Uh, Not many things were there to discuss with you. It was more about giving you an insight, giving you like some idea of what different types of professional bodies are, what they do, what are different bodies that we should know about, and all. Okay, so there is not a lot to be contributed from your end, but when you will do the assignment, you will get to know a lot of things. You will enjoy doing the assignment. That is my promise.